Welcome back. It's Bourbon Night. Actually, that's another channel. Those guys are cool. Check them out. But tonight, it's Bourbon Night. We're not good. We're gonna drink some bourbon. We're gonna taste some bourbon, but we're also gonna cook with it. And there's two things that I love: is steak and bourbon. And I can't think of a better way to do it than to pour bourbon over my steak. Yeah, I know. Almost made me cry. So here we got some Angus Filet Mignons and some Ironclad bourbon. Ironclad, these guys are here local, not far from me. So shout out to Ironclad down in Newport News, Virginia. They're doing some good stuff down there. I'll put a link to their website down below. So I'm gonna I gotta get the steaks ready first. Balsamic vinegar, a little bit of Worcestershire, bourbon, and then I'm going to cover the steaks up with that, let them sit for about 2 hours. And I'm also going to cook some asparagus. I tried to get the thinnest ones I could find. You want to cut this off because this gets a little hard down here on the ends. If you can't find thin ones like this, you can always take a potato peeler and kind of just shave these down and make them thinner. But I got the thinnest ones I can find. I'm going to cover those with some oil, salt, pepper, and some garlic. And we're just going to let everything sit for a while until the steaks are done marinating. And then we're going to cook them up. And tonight I'm not doing on the grill. I'm actually going to do everything in the cast iron pan. So the steaks will go in here. I'm going to sear them. And then we're going to put them down in the oven and finish them off. So let me get all this started, and man, this is going to be a good one. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open the bourbon. Like I said, this is from Ironclad. They're local here in Virginia. Oh man, it smells good. Oh, some good stuff. That's good. I like that. That'll do good. Got a bowl here. I looked up a bunch of recipes that were using balsamic vinegar. Some of them were doing reductions at the end and pouring it on the steak. And there were a few like this one that you actually just marinate the steak in it. So that's what I'm doing. So I've got 3 steaks. So I'm going to do 2 ounces each of the bourbon, balsamic, and the Worcestershire. And my little measuring thing here is only 1 1/4, so I'm just going to do 2 of them. It doesn't really make that much difference because your steak's just going to kind of rest in it for a while. And we'll actually use half of this. We won't use all of it on the steak. We're going to use some of it to add some mushrooms too, and make some tasty mushrooms to sit on top of the steak. So there we go. Got Worcestershire, bourbon, or balsamic, and you can use any balsamic you want. It doesn't matter. Those. Another one of those. Alright. So that's that. We'll give this a quick stir. Just like that. Open up the steaks. And we'll put these in a shallow pan. Pour about half of this over top of the steaks. And that looks good. You can always make some more. So that's that. I'm going to put these in the fridge just like they are and let them sit for a couple hours. And we're going to set this aside because we're going to use that later. Alright, so now I need to prep my asparagus. So I'm going to take some of these bigger ones, this white part, I'm going to cut that off. Just make sure that I've got all that hard part off. Like I said, I try to get the thinnest ones I can. If they don't have thin ones, you can always use your potato peeler to thin them out a little bit. But these are pretty thin. Spread these out across the tray. Like that. Got our asparagus all laid out. Check the bourbon, make sure it's okay. Yep, it's still good. All right, so I'm gonna get some olive oil, oil these up. That helps the salt and pepper and garlic stick to them. So let's do that. A little drizzle of olive oil. Can't go wrong with olive oil. And we'll just kind of roll those around, get them all covered. Yep, there we go. All right. And get the oil off my hands. All right, so I've got those oiled up. Now I want to hit them with a little bit of salt and pepper. Don't want to go crazy on the salt. That's good. And some pepper. I like pepper, so I'm going to go a little heavy on the pepper. Another good thing you can put on these, if you have it, is sesame seeds. It actually works out, the black sesame seeds work out really good on asparagus. All right, now I'm going to put garlic on. And I've got 5 pieces of garlic here. I'm just going to tap those real quick, get the skin off. Go. I'm going to put those in my garlic press. Just a couple at a time. Just like that. A couple more in there. Last one. There we go. All right. And And these, I'm just gonna let these sit while the steak is marinating. And I'm gonna clean up my mess and check the bourbon one more time. All right, be back in 2 hours. I'll try not to finish this bottle in 2 hours. I'll be back. All right, while I was waiting, I went ahead and cut up my mushrooms, and we're just waiting for the steaks to finish their bourbon bath, and then we'll get to cooking. All right, we're back. It's been about an hour and a half. The steaks have been in their bourbon bath in the refrigerator. Those look really good. One thing I do notice, these are pretty thick. This one's kind of thin. So I'm going to have a few challenges in cooking all these together and timing and all that stuff. So in my cast iron skillet here, I've got some butter. I'll put that on high medium heat, get this butter melted, and we're going to sear the steaks probably 3-4 minutes aside. All right, so while I'm waiting on my butter to melt, I've already got, these have been sitting here, they're ready to go in the oven. I'm not going to put those in until the steaks go in because everything is going in at the same time. These being kind of thin, they might cook a little more quickly, so I'm probably going to have to open up the oven and kind of check on things. Mushrooms are ready, so right now I'm just waiting on butter to melt. Not as bad as waiting on paint to dry, but still waiting. Alright, butter is ready. First thing I'm going to do is check the bourbon, make sure it's okay. Yeah, it's still good. Alright, so I'm going to get these steaks put in here, and I'm using my cool little steak flipper tool here. I don't know if anybody's ever seen one like this. There's a guy here in Virginia that makes these out of old railroad spikes. But they're real easy to pick up a steak and just flip it right down. So we're going to sear these on either side for probably about 3 minutes aside, and then we'll come back. And I've already preheated my oven. I've got it on 425, which should be good for these steaks here. Like I said, I'm going to put the asparagus in at the same time. That's a little hot for asparagus. Usually asparagus is around 400, 350 to 400. And this being thin, it's going to cook pretty quickly. But I don't want to burn it because that's bad. So I've got a couple more minutes on the steaks here. And I'm going to check the bourbon, make sure it's on it. Yep. And if I can find a link to this, and remember the guy that made these, I'm definitely going to put this in the description because these things are awesome when you're grilling. All right, that's long enough on those. We're going to put those in the oven. I'm going to put them on the top rack. Just like that. Let those finish in there. Also going to put my asparagus in. And I'm going to do that one on the bottom rack. All right, now, I'll move this over because I've already got a hot eye here. I'll put that on medium, let that butter melt. And as soon as that butter's done melting, we're going to throw in our mushrooms. We're also going to take this bit of bourbon, balsamic, and Worcestershire, and we're going to put in there also, and we're going to let these mushrooms cook down. And check the bourbon. And we're just going to let these swim around in here for a little while. Get happy. Make sure they're all coated. And that smells really good. So I want my steak somewhere around probably about 125, 126, somewhere around there. Medium rare. That way when I take them out and I let them rest for a minute, they'll be, in the medium range. So I'll take them out right at that low temperature and just let them sit for a second. So we got probably about 10 to 15 minutes on the steaks, and I've got to check the asparagus and the bourbon because the asparagus is going to cook a little quicker. So I don't want to burn the asparagus. Now we wait. Alright, so mushrooms are getting done. Steaks are looking good. The asparagus is looking good. I did take my temperature, my little Agro Mini, and I stuck it in the smaller steak. And as you can see, I'm already at 114 in there, 115. So that small steak's probably going to have to come out sooner, which is okay. And then I'll let the other two stay in. Alright, my internal temperature on the little guy is showing 126, 127 now, so I'm going to go ahead and take him out and sit him aside, maybe cut him open and see what it looks like. Then I'm going to put my temperature probe in the bigger piece and see where they're at. Alright, let's see what this guy looks like. Alright, he's still a little rare. I might need to let him go a little longer. Alright, I'm going to say the mushrooms are done. I've just about cooked all the liquid out. So those things are soaked up everything they can. So I'm taking those off the heat. Take that off. And now we're just waiting on steaks and asparagus. And if anybody was wondering, my cast iron, I don't put soap on it. I just rinse it out, scrub it with a scrub pad, and then I actually put some oil on it. Lodge seasoning spray works good, or you can use any one of the spray oils. Spray it in there and just wipe it out with a paper towel so it's not runny, and then just hang it up and it's ready for next time. All right, we are done, and this looks amazing. The mushrooms turned out great. The steaks are perfect. The asparagus is cooked nice and tender. And we have bourbon. So thanks for watching. Thanks to Ironclad for supplying the bourbon that we're drinking tonight and cooking with tonight. And I hope you guys come back. We'll see you next time.